Moses has recruited his whole family. His wife Rita is in charge of costume production, while his son Wilson is director of operations. Sid Carvalho must work closely with the family to have any chance of winning the title and keeping his job.
Eu penso, eles fazem e ele faz desfilar. É uma equipe, não é uma equipe? É assim que funciona. Do João.
In 3 weeks, Sid and millions of others will focus their attention here, the Sambadrome.
Carnaval 2007 aqui no Brasil.
This huge half-mile stadium has been the home of the Samba Parade since 1984. Every year, it must undergo a major refit. Preparations are gearing up to a frenzy. The Samba Parade is one of the most spectacular televised events on the planet. It's available to over 190 countries and 1 billion people. It's a massive operation handled by Brazil's #1 network, Globo Television. The man in charge is Director General Aloysio Leger.
Carnaval é minha festa. Carnaval faz parte do meu calendário. Eu fico o tempo todo querendo fugir, mas não aguento. Não resisto.
Não, não quero Big Brother, quero Globeleza. A gente faz um set Globeleza.
Leger is like a commander of a military operation.
No Carnaval trabalham em torno de 1.500 pessoas na transmissão de cada dia.
Leger and his team now have less than 3 weeks to prepare. They must lay over 22 miles of cable, 300 power lights, erect nearly 50 camera positions, as well as 6 huge cranes and high-tech tracking cameras. Leger's mission is to keep this juggernaut on the rails. Tonight is Vila Isabel's first street rehearsal.
Esse ensaio aqui é mais para juntar as pessoas, que já está tudo ensaiado. É mais para orientar sobre o desfile.
The majority of participants are neighborhood volunteers devoted to their team. Tonight, nearly 4,000 school members will attempt to dance in unison down a narrow 2-lane city street. Leading the parade is the flag bearer and her escort, Ruth and Raphael. The flag is the school's emblem, and carrying it is considered an honor. Their performances at the front of the parade will contribute to the school's overall score. Raphael has only been an escort dancer for a few years, but it's Ruth's 12th year as Vila Isabel's porta-bandeira. She's a carnival veteran and knows what to expect.
A motivação em manter a Ruth como porta-bandeira é porque há um entrosamento perfeito com o mestre-sala, o Rafael.
They soak the flag to get used to added weight in case it rains on parade night. Tonight there are no floats or costumes, but there's plenty of raw energy. Moses and Wilson try to keep the parade in sync. But it looks like chaos. The pride and future of Vila Isabel is in the balance. Winning the Samba Parade will bring vital sponsorship deals. Losing could compromise next year's show.
Falando pra ele não esquecer, quem dança é você.
In less than 2 weeks, Villa Isabel will meet their rival schools at the Sambadrome. They fear one above all others. Villa Isabel's greatest rival comes from one of Rio's poorest neighborhoods, Mangueira. Fernanda is an elite dancer from Mangueira. She'll be competing against Villa Isabel and the other schools at the parade in less than 2 weeks. Winning the parade means everything to her. Today, like every day, she's practicing her samba routines before tonight's rehearsal.
Carnaval na minha vida eu não vivo mais sempre. Eu aprendi a dançar com 2 anos. Já nasci sambando, praticamente.
Fernanda is a 24-year-old single mother. She lives with her young daughter and 10 other relatives in this 4-room house. Fernanda is typical of many of the people involved in Carnaval. They live below the poverty line in hillside shantytowns known as favelas. Drug crimes and homicides in these favelas have made Rio one of the world's most dangerous cities.
Ter as dificuldades que todo lugar tem de tráfico de drogas, coisas assim ruins que deixam os lugares piores. É muito difícil. Quando a gente ouve algum barulho, a gente fica até escaldado, como dizem o povo, escaldado. Então, quando acontece um tirinho, já fica preocupada. O que é isso? O que houve? Se vê alguém correndo, já ninguém, as crianças já ficam dentro de casa, ninguém sai pra rua.
The annual 4-day Carnaval is one of the few opportunities for thousands like Fernanda to forget their problems.
Para mim, a importância do Carnaval é porque, assim, nós já vivemos o ano inteiro com preocupações, com muitas preocupações, violência, chuva, desastre aqui, desastre ali. E a época do Carnaval, eu acho que é a época que todo o brasileiro, o país, o mundo, esquece. E acho que o Carnaval é muito importante para isso, para nossa felicidade. Mesmo que dure 5 dias, 7.
On parade night, Fernanda will perform an exhausting samba with the school's dancers. Known as pasistas, these dancers must give their finest performance for their school to win. Most of the pasistas earn money from performing at Mangueira's shows throughout the year.
Me mantenho do samba, praticamente. Eu vivo dos shows, que paga minhas contas.
Mangueira is one of the samba schools that gave Carnaval life. They were champions of the very first samba parade back in 1932 and have maintained their presence ever since. Almost everyone who lives in Mangueira is involved in the school.
Minha escola de samba é uma família. É uma família. Nós todos aqui somos como se fosse uma família só.
Mangueira's theme for this year's Samba Parade is the history of the Portuguese language. Tonight, they're practicing the school's song that tells the story of this year's theme. Mangueira has won the title 17 times. But they haven't won in 5 years. A Carnaval victory could be just what they need.
Eu sou orgulhosa de morar aqui. Mas como todo lugar, também tem as implicâncias, né? Nós somos mal vistos. As pessoas nem sempre olham a gente com um sorriso aberto. Nós já estamos acostumados, não ligo.
Mangueira's victory might also bring Fernanda new opportunities in life.
Eu gosto muito daqui, mas, sei lá, para o futuro eu pretendo não ficar. Pretendo ir para um lugar, sei lá, longe, conhecer novas pessoas, fazer novas amizades.
Rio's elite samba schools are housed in this new warehouse complex called Samba City. Over at Villa Isabel, Sid's pushing his team to the limits.
Tem que baixar, ou então você vai lá em cima e forra de azul.
Villa Isabel has some 60 full-time employees. But as the Samba parade approaches, this grows to 400.
Eu fui de 8 às 8 mexendo com cola. Acontecerão de 8 às 8.
They're paid by the hour and earn about $200 per week. Many of them will also be parading for Villa Isabel on the very floats they're making. These gigantic floats are the centerpiece of the parade and will make the difference between winning or losing.
Então, o que eu espero, sinceramente, é que seja um grande desfile da Vila Isabel, que é o que eu tenho certeza que é o que eu estou vendo, e a gente consiga manter o título para a nossa escola. Acredito, sinceramente, acredito muito.
Judging will be like an Olympic ice skating competition. Every detail must be perfect.
Só não pode ficar aparecendo embaixo do preto.
But Sid and Villa Isabel are rapidly running out of
Como
time.
está aqui embaixo. Não, só amanhã ou depois. Já acabou aí? Acabou, desce daí, para de me enrolar.
In less than 2 weeks, he could be enjoying the taste of victory or choking on defeat.
Indo, como estão? Bem. Bem, mas é sempre muito nervoso. Essa hora, esse momento é de muito nervoso. Então, apreensão, eu diria. Essa é a palavra, apreensão. Tá tudo prontinho, é retoque, é limpeza, é o iluminador que está acertando os focos, né, centralizando, colocando a luz na direção certa, mas...
The Samba drum workers are also under pressure to be ready on time.
Vamos fazer com uma que estiver funcionando aí. Tá fugindo muito esse?
Peter Racy is the Samba Parade's chief sound engineer. Peter has worked on major rock tours in Brazil. But the Samba Parade presents his greatest challenge.
This is definitely the most complex show for sound that we deal with.
With a workforce of over 200, hundreds of speakers, miles of cables, and 8 computer interfaces, this rig is already complex. But the biggest challenge is creating a sound system that amplifies the band evenly as it parades.
We have here a moving stage. The Samba School moves down 700 meters of this avenue, and the audience is lined up on each side of this. So we have to synchronize in time. As the truck moves along, the times on each tower have to change. That's one of the major challenges of Carnival.
No. No. Peter, quer que baixe o volume do caminhão, Peter?
It takes around 2 seconds for sound to travel the half-mile length of the Samba drum. If that delay isn't addressed, it has a huge impact on the sound.
If I did my job wrong and everybody else here messed up, there would be a lot of different sound sources all coming out at different times, and it would be a big mess. The Samba schools are all extremely competitive. Every little thing is worth 1/10 of a point, and they would be extremely angry at us if we messed up. Extremely angry.
Points are awarded for 10 disciplines, including the school's samba song. If that can't be heard properly, points will be lost. To counter the problem, a complex network of information must work in harmony.
There's a telemetry device attached to the truck, which measures the distance the truck travels and relays that information over to the control center, which then changes the delays on each tower accordingly.
Ok, vamos fazer teste só com voz agora, só para ver o basicão, depois a gente põe a musiquinha, tá?
The crew practices a half-mile cable run. If they get it wrong on the night, there could be a serious accident. Right now, it looks like the paramedics should be standing by. Tonight, Peter Racy will get a chance to put the system to a proper test. He just hopes it doesn't rain. It's the final dress rehearsal for Villa Isabel. It's crucial that Ruth and Raphael do well tonight. If the rain gets any harder, it could cause serious problems.
O mau tempo, a chuva, ela prejudica a concentração e, consequentemente, prejudica o desenvolvimento da escola, né? Nós temos crianças, nós temos jovens, nós temos senhoras, nós temos senhores, né? E tudo recebendo muita chuva, mas sempre o mau tempo é aquilo que nos preocupa bastante.
And now President Moses has got another worry. Ruth and Raphael are late. On the night, anyone that isn't in place on time can be disqualified. The rain has slowed traffic to a near standstill.
Pronto, pode ir.
At last, the rehearsal can begin. Tonight is the last time Villa Isabel will get a chance to practice their routines. But this monsoon is making a difficult job a lot harder. Ruth has no need to soak the flag tonight. In fact, the wet flag could become too heavy to hold. Engineer Peter Racy has got problems of his own. The sound equipment is fairly robust, but in this weather, it could easily short-circuit the entire system. Each microphone has to be carefully wrapped in protective plastic. Wilson is in charge of operations, making sure their parade lasts no more than the 80 minutes allowed, or crucial points will be lost. Despite the rain, most of the participants are having fun. Villa Isabel's designer Sid Cavallo is having a ball. For the moment, he can forget about the problems still facing him. The parade takes just under the 80 minutes allowed. Despite the downpour, things have gone well. Peter Racy is also pleased.
The result was very positive. Everything worked. The mechanics worked. All the microphones had to have covering saran wrap on them. Some of the instruments were covered, so we couldn't get the best possible sound. But, you know, I think we did all right. We got away with it.
The rehearsal is a success. the real test lies ahead when Villa Isabel meets with their arch rivals at Rio's Samba Parade. Wilson must get the floats to the Sambadrome through the narrow streets. He's worried that Sid has miscalculated the height and width of the robot float.
A mão, se ficar um pouquinho mais aberta, fica mais larga do que a lateral do carro. Se abrir mais do que isso, ela está mais alta do que... E no alto é sempre pior, galho, essas coisas. Pode botar uma trava para avenida.
Mas para avenida tem que ter. Senão ela bate muito forte aqui. Entendeu? Ela dá um pancadão aqui. Pancadão mesmo. Tem que lembrá-lo disso. Eita ferro. Tá um olhinho. E você fica com ansiedade para saber se as pessoas gostaram ou se não gostaram. Quando acaba, passam esses 80 minutos, terminam, aí dá um vazio, sabe? Porque é como assim, eu acho que é a sensação do filho que deixa a casa dos pais, sabe? Ah, que vazio. Tudo parece que perde o sentido, né?
Just a few miles away, Ruth and Raphael arrive at the tailor's for their final costume fitting. They've cost thousands of dollars to produce.
Tudo bem? Como é que tá as coisas? Bota a cintura. Eu acho que eu acertei.
The dress is designed like a clock to reflect Villa Isabel's theme of change.
See that?
Ah, outra coisa.
Bailarina.
Samba Parade tailors pride themselves in making the most original costumes. And they have to, if they're to attract the judges' attention.
Cadê o teu sapato? Não trouxe, né?
Não, que sapato? Tá nem honesto. Pra mim, ela não vem direto pra cá, não? Você vai pegar ou eu tenho que pegar?
Tem que pegar e trazer pra cá.
Você que pega?
Esse pro lado, esse pro outro. Tu acha que você atrapalha?
Atrapalha.
Você é muita coisa.
A do ano passado, a que eu usei não tinha armação, ela ficava assim.
Pano, então a sua é de pano, a dele que não tem problema. Ó. Abre os braços. Isso. Deixa ela ajustar em você aqui.
O que vocês estão falando da minha fantasia?
Isso.
Linda, né?
Maravilhosa. Perfeita, certinha. Não tá me incomodando em nada.
Tenta marcar aqui melhor. Eu prefiro botar a franja aqui.
Ela não sobe. Ela não tem como
Eu prefiro fazer. Solta aí.
É muito melhor assim.
Olha aqui. Isso. Mostra aí. Helena, pega lá uma roda de fazão, só pra gente sentir um negócio aqui.
Pega. Vamos sentir.
Atrás ele tá pesado?
Carlos, não. Deixa ela dar uma rodada aí. Não. Só acerta aqui. Aí tá de colete. Tá, né? Não. Melhorou? Melhorou? Agora vem cá. Esse é muito pesado.
Não é que seja difícil, mas não é tão fácil quanto roupa de quadra. Ela te prende mais um pouco. Ela tem o peso dela normal.
Melhorou? Agora vem cá. Esse é muito pesado.
The costumes are ready, but the real adventure lies ahead. The biggest street party in the world is finally underway. All across Rio, parades gyrate to the throbbing sounds of samba. Tourists mingle with Rio's rich and poor for the greatest celebration on earth. This epic 4-day party is just getting started. To celebrate the beginning of Carnaval, the Mangueira Samba School is hosting a party. Fernanda is here to do what she loves best, dance the samba for a full house. Unlike Ruth at Villa Isabel, Fernanda has no assistants to help her with costume, hair, or makeup. But the Mangueira dancers help each other like sisters.
Eu sou tímida assim mesmo, mas assim, basta tocar uma música que eu me transformo, esqueço de tudo, do mundo.
Fernanda is confident that Mangueira can win the samba parade.
Eu acho que a Mangueira sempre entra para ganhar. Minha única preocupação quando a gente está desfilando é se um carro quebrar. Se quebrar um salto, não ligo, sambu. Com um pé só, e se chover também não ligo. Mas se ele quebrar no meio da avenida, a escola tá praticamente perdeu o carnaval.
Quem gostou, bate palma! Quero saber o seguinte.
Villa Isabel's floats are beginning their maiden voyage. There's still work to be done on some of them, but now it's time to move them to the Sambadrome. Sid doesn't want anyone to see his creation till the big night, so they're kept under wraps. Moving the 2.5 miles to the Sambadrome is a major 20-hour undertaking.
Tá legal, é assim mesmo, todo ano.
Atenção.
É normal, não deu nenhum problema nos carros alegóricos, não tem. Todo ano acontece alguns danos, daqui pra avenida tem sempre um.
Within a mile, there's a problem.
Olha lá, para aí! Sem ninguém, viu? Eu tô ajudando o outro carro e o carro da frente também.
Wilson's prediction about the robot float has come true.
Não dá não. Não dá não. Anda ré. Passa. Alô. Olha lá, ó.
After an hour of careful maneuvering and much cursing, the Armada is finally underway again. Tonight, the Sambadrome will play host to some of the smaller samba schools. And with less than 24 hours to go, it's an opportunity for the television broadcasters to do a practice run.
E câmera 2, prepara o carro lá atrás. O vídeo. É só que vai contar pra você.
Nearly 2,000 people are involved in making the broadcast run smoothly. The parade is transmitted to a potential global audience of 1 billion people. The TV rights are worth millions, so mistakes could be costly. The man in charge is Globo TV Director General Aloysi Leger. He's here tonight to take command. The only problem is he's forgotten his security pass. Leger has set up a security system so tight he can't get in himself. It's like the president being stopped by the Secret Service. At last, embarrassed security let him through. But for Leger, it's proof that they're doing their job. Tonight is the last opportunity for Leger to get everything right.
Agora estou vendo como é que estão as nossas câmeras, o nosso pessoal, o posicionamento se continua o mesmo, se houve alguma mexida, se não houve, se tem algum merchandising, se tem placas que não estão programadas.
The Samba Parade is the biggest television event in Brazil. Sponsors pay a small fortune for a 30-second spot. With such high stakes involved, does Leger feel any pressure?
Muito. Sempre parece que é a primeira vez. Na verdade, a entrada no ar, o primeiro dia, sempre é com uma certa tensão. Não, aqui a gente vamos para a bateria ali, ó.
Ou sai por aqui, sai
por aqui por trás, cai na bateria ali.
Cai lá, tá.
While he must be in control of the technical side of the operation, his main function is political. To keep this operation running smoothly, nerves and egos need to be calmed. Although this practice has gone well for Leger and his team, the real test comes tomorrow. It's nearly midnight, and Villa Isabel's floats are still making their epic journey. They're already behind schedule, and there are more obstacles ahead. With the start of the parade less than 24 hours away, Villa Isabel needs to pull together. After a year of intense preparation, it's finally showtime in Rio. People from outside the Samba school neighborhoods can pay to parade. With costumes provided, it costs about $300 to dance with the school, and up to $600 to go on top afloat. As night approaches, people from all over Rio and all over the world descend upon the Samba drone.
We live in San Diego, California, and this is probably about our third year in a row doing this.
It's said that everyone should visit the Rio Carnaval once in their lifetime. And tonight, nearly 100,000 people will be gathered in and around the stadium. At last, the Samba parade is finally underway. Three favorites are Villa Isabel and their theme of metamorphosis.
Nervoso, tenso, não poderia ser diferente.
Rivals Mangueira, showing the history of the Portuguese language.
Todos nervosos.
And Sid Cavallo's old-school Beija-Flor, with the theme of Africa. The stage is the half-mile Samba drone. With up to 5,000 dancers and 8 enormous floats, each school takes up almost the whole avenue. Over the maximum 80 minutes permitted, they'll pass 4 judging boxes. Each box has 10 judges who scrutinize different elements of the Samba School's parade. Points are awarded for everything, From costume design, music, dancing and choreography, to overall concept and presentation. Last year, when Villa Isabel became champions, 6 places were decided by just 1 point.
Então, todos querem ter a liderança. E pela liderança, eles só não dão a vida, o resto eles dão.
With so much at stake, tempers are frayed.
Vai aqui, ó. Sobe aqui no azul aqui, vem. Sobe aqui. Vai. Ô, Rodrigo. Rodrigo. É você, cara. Vambora, meu bem. Você acha que vai ser que hora, Jesus?
Sid's butterfly creation still needs finishing touches. And with time running out, he's lost his patience.
Ah, não vou nem falar agora. Vamos lá, espera aí, gente. Tem que abrir a asa lá. Espera ele abrir a asa.
Pô, não fica parado. Acha uma chave, acha uma chave. Então vai pro outro lado. Se quem é do lado de lá, vai pro lado de lá. Não precisa ficar aqui, todo mundo do lado.
Meanwhile, at the Mangueira camp, Fernanda is late. The other pastistas are here already. With only a half an hour to go, Fernanda finally arrives.
Toda nervosa, discuti com o taxista. Sopra meu rosto. Sopra bem no meu olho. Ai. Que nervoso. Normal. Normal, ó. Alegria do povo, o pessoal daqui de fora que não tem como pagar, porque é muito caro também, o carnaval. O carnaval hoje em dia tá sendo mais para quem tem dinheiro. As pessoas verdadeiras que curtem o carnaval, que era o carnaval de antigamente, não tem. Então eles são obrigados a ficar aqui do outro lado dessa margem horrível.
The samba parade started here in the streets 80 years ago. But in recent times, it's become too expensive for most local Brazilians. Thousands who can't afford a ticket now gather outside the stadium to watch the parade on TV. Even though they're shut out, they still manage to create a carnival atmosphere.
Todo mundo assistindo a Mangueira, por favor. Mangueira na cabeça.
In the Sambadrome, Aloysi Leger is busy orchestrating the main event. At Villa Isabel's assembly, Ruth looks anxious. They've still got more than an hour before their parade, but tension is mounting. Rafael seems confident. At the Mangueira staging, the school is moving into start position, but Fernanda is still working on her costume. In the TV control room, Leger prepares for the start of the Mangueira parade. A frenzied year of preparation and hope comes down to the next 80 minutes.
Do Palácio
With nearly 5,000 people, Mangueira's parade is one of the most impressive of the night. Such large numbers can stretch a school's resources.
Momentos difíceis nós temos assim quase todos os anos. Tem um problema qualquer, isso pode acontecer com qualquer escola.
A section of Mangueira's dancers have missed their cue. Organizers are strict on timing and refuse to let them parade. Not only are the dancers devastated, it's a potential catastrophe for the school, which may lose vital points.
Meio ponto decide a vida deles.
For now, it's impossible to know if Mangueira has won. But their parade song is a hit with the crowd. The floats look spectacular, and hopefully, the latecomers weren't penalized. It'll be 3 agonizing days before the results of the competition are known. Most here look like they've won already.
Depois de ano de trabalho, a Mangueira chegou assim aclamada pelo povo como campeã, maravilhoso isso. É de emocionar, de chorar, é de morrer.
Mangueira's parade is over for this year, but their rivals are about to take the stage. It's after 2 a.m. and finally time for Villa Isabel's 80 minutes of glory.
Ah, meio ansioso, mas tá tranquilo, graças a Deus. Só tô meio ansioso pra começar logo, não vejo a hora de começar. Vai embora.
Sid Cavallo knows that he's done all he can. After a year of intense work, it's time to relax and enjoy the show. Now in full swing, President Moses finally lets go and enjoys his moment of glory. Ruth and Raphael's routine looks magnificent. Behind them, the sequined army nearly fills the entire avenue. The robot float, with hands intact, is a hit, but isn't enough for first place. After nearly 75 minutes, the tale of Villa Isabel passes the finish line. A year of hard work and ambition is finally over.
Optamos por deixar a escola solta. E os componentes da Vila Isabel sabem desfilar e mostraram que sabem desfilar.
Aquele grande vazio que eu já me referi antes tá aqui, filha do mundo, né? Agora vamos esperar Carnaval passar, esperar o resultado da quarta-feira e começar a pensar no próximo bebê. Mas valeu.
But not everyone thinks it was great. Ruth is exhausted after the long dance. Raphael, meanwhile, is rushed off for medical treatment due to dehydration. and he's one of the luckier ones. Many have to be stretchered off, and one man has suffered a heart attack. But for everyone else, the night seems to have been a success. Now they must wait for the results. 3 days later, they're finally announced. This year's Rio Carnaval Samba Parade champions are Beija Flor with their theme of Africa. The same group that Sid left just a year earlier. Mangueira take a very respectable third place. But in Fernanda's opinion, the judging was unfair.
Eu acho que a Mangueira sempre entra para ganhar. O problema é que não depende da gente, não depende só da gente, depende dos jurados, que muitas vezes nos atrapalham, nos sacaneiam, tiram pontos que você vê que é absurdo o que eles dizem. É muito roubo, muito roubo.
At Villa Isabel, the results are even more disappointing. They're halfway down the order in 6th place. The only silver lining for Villa Isabel is Rafael. He's won first prize for Best Escort Dancer.
O carnaval não foi do jeito que a gente queria, né? Mas graças a Deus eu fui agraciado com o estandarte de ouro de melhor mestre-sala. Ainda tô no ar.
Just 3 days after the event, Sid Carvalho is unceremoniously fired, but he's already found a new school. 1 week after receiving his award, Rafael leaves Villa Isabel for a better offer. Ruth is on track to make her 13th year as Villa Isabel's flag bearer, but she's looking for a new partner. President Moses and his family are building a new team to mount a bigger challenge for the title. Meanwhile, Fernanda has no intention of leaving her beloved samba school and is doing what she loves best. And like all of them, she's already counting the days until next year's Rio Carnaval.